This month on Verve, there is tons and tons of new stuff and old stuff that has been added to the catalog. Not only can you watch new episodes of My Hero Academia and Dragon Ball Super's dub, but now, brand new, if you're a fan of classic WB cartoons, folks, Freakazoid and Road Rovers is now on Verve. And if you like that, don't forget to check out a new show called Gary and His Demons, which is getting a whole bunch of love from everybody who's been watching it. So check that out. Verve, your #1 place for anime needs, and of course, Dragon Ball and tons of other stuff on there as well. vrv.co/geekdom gets you 30 free days. The link is down below. Check it out. So recently we discussed the future of Universe 6 after Dragon Ball Super, and the one thing that we left out of that conversation was a discussion about Kaba, Caulifla, Kale, and the other Universe 6 Saiyans, because we wanted to come back with a different edition of After Dragon Ball Super to focus just on them. And that's what we're doing here on this video. We're going to go ahead and follow up and talk about what the future may hold for these characters. And I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the artist who drew this awesome thumbnail. Very unique style here. His name is Desial. I may have screwed your name up, and I apologize if I did. I will leave a link to his Twitter. Check him out because he's really talented and with very unique style. But we're talking about Universe 6 Saiyans. We're talking about the future of the Saiyan race in not just the Dragon Ball Super movie, but maybe the TV series, should it return sometime next year or whenever it does. Joining me is the guy who was here for the Universe 6 discussion on After Dragon Ball Super. Now we're following up. This is a sequel video to that. Please welcome Quaman.
Well, I mean, I have like about 6 names right now, Geekdom, so at this point, just call me Q. Like, that's like the one universal name that works for everything. What's up, guys?
So let's talk about, Universe 6 Saiyans. We talked about Frost, talked about Hit before. With the Universe 6 Saiyans, now, I already did a video with Tragic about the Planet Sadala arc. That was done ages ago, and I feel like one of the things with this tournament is that they really teased this Planet Sadala arc more than I even expected. There were several unresolved plot threads in Super, and this is a big one, because Vegeta has an obvious relationship with Kaba where he feels for the guy, he cares for the guy. Then you have Goku and Caulifla kind of doing that teacher-student thing for a while. Then you have, of course, Caulifla and Kale striving to achieve Super Saiyan 3, which they did not do in Dragon Ball Super, but I feel like that could be a plot thread for in the future for those two characters and kind of their own little arc. Plus, we don't really know much about what's going to happen with Caulifla and Kale's relationship, whether it be platonic or something else. We'll talk about that some other time because we don't know. So, I wanted to ask you, it seems like it's obvious based on the way things are going now that the Dragon Ball Super movie coming out in December, I feel like Universe 6 will be a part of that movie in one way or another. Do you agree or no?
Absolutely, because I feel like it's the only Saiyan-type connection, and out of all of the different universes that Universe 7 has interacted with, it seems like Universe 6 is the most plot-centric one to use, so I would definitely agree with that statement.
Yeah, and I feel like the relationship that was established with those characters in these, is unresolved. I mean, there's still too many things that that we can go to, you know what I mean? Now, that being said, when it comes to Caulifla and Kale, specifically those two characters, do you think it's the right move to focus on their arc of getting Super Saiyan 3? Do you even care? Because I know a lot of fans don't like Caulifla and Kale, and some do. Do you care about their arc? And do you think it's even an interesting arc? I mean, them getting a form that's pretty much obsolete, sounds like, who cares? But what do you think?
Well, my honest perspective about Kale and Caulifla as characters, first really briefly, is the fact that I kind of have a guilty pleasure opinion on them. I think, and I'm not saying that in a way that you guys are going to giggle in the comment section, but in a guilty pleasure way, I think Kale and Caulifla are entertaining characters, with Kale representing like that Broly nostalgia, Caulifla representing like this brash character who was magnified when they fused into Kefla. So in terms of characters, I understand that they have a lot of flaws in their writing, but they're entertaining. So anytime there's a story around them, I think it would be interesting. With that said, though, Geekdom, I do admit that having Kale and Caulifla trying to attain Super Saiyan 3 would seem very obsolete, especially considering the fact that both of them, especially Caulifla, just learned Super Saiyan 2 like right off the go. So it's like you go from an obsolete form to another obsolete form. If you're going to train those characters, I would actually like to see Goku and Vegeta teaching them about God Ki and how to possibly attain Super Saiyan Blue, as Goku said in the Tournament of Power that Caulifla wasn't ready for that yet. So seeing her going through that process would actually be more interesting.
Right? And I just feel like it was interesting that they gave us that little, you know, I guess teaser or whatever. Yeah. I don't know what you want to call it. They planted the seeds for the future. And the one thing that I think, you know, I don't want to go too much into Sadala because I already covered that with Tragic. I mean, there's not much to say there, you know, but I do feel like the king, a lot of folks are saying that this villain, the Dragon Ball Super movie, is like some dude who's frozen in ice on Earth. I don't know if I like that idea, but him like frozen in ice on planet Sadala, that to me seems to be a bit more interesting. Yeah. Somehow he wound up in Universe 6. I really don't know, but this whole thing where Vegeta wants to meet the king, do you think the fandom is magnetizing that and they're kind of thinking it's actually going to happen? But I feel like it's been teased more than once, so maybe it will happen. Like, is that even going to be an important story there?
Well, I think for Dragon Ball 6 and purposes, because Vegeta essentially lost his old race and has found like this connection in Kaba, I've always seen Kaba as like a symbol of Vegeta trying to reconnect with his own Saiyan history through an alternate universe, or another universe, I should say. And in doing that, I feel like there's just too much plot potential for Vegeta to not go to Planet Sadala. And if there was to be a Planet Sadala arc geekdom, I definitely think Vegeta would actually be the catalyst as opposed to Goku, because he actually knows more about Saiyan culture and heritage, as opposed to Goku, who was a baby when he was sent over and doesn't really know anything about the Saiyan people. So I think plot-wise, there's just too much on the table for me to believe that Vegeta wouldn't have something to do.
So, how much of a chance do you think there is of Yamoshi popping up in Universe 6 somehow? Like, somehow getting over there? I don't know, because everybody keeps talking about Yamoshi this and that, and I'm not saying he's in the movie. I'm saying he... Like, is it really possible? I mean, is that too lazy in your opinion? Like, or is it... Like, what do you think?
Honestly, like when it was revealed with that Saiyan with like the fur and all of that stuff come out and people were theorizing that it was Yamoshi, I even did a video discussing that. I actually thought it was kind of silly geekdom at first because, you know, if Yamoshi is the Saiyan whose spirit was transformed into the Super Saiyan God and he's trying to find the next, you know, person who he found was righteous, then why would this guy possibly be a villain? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And if he were to come back, like, what would be the plot convenience to bring him back? I honestly felt that it was one of those things where Toriyama, you know, added like a level of Saiyan lore to the story that's not really going to be applicable, kind of like what he did with S-Cells, that it's good for fans to discuss, you know, and have these deep conversations, but I don't really think it's practical in terms of a movie sense.
What do you think the future of Kaba is?
The future of
Kaba,
I mean,
not just the movie. I mean, also like in the TV series, like or with the Dragon Ball Super overall. What do you think his future is as a character?
Well, the way I've always looked at this is that I feel like if we just analyze like Kale, Kaba, and Caulifla like as three as a whole, I feel like they all represent like a future Saiyan to mentor relationship where Kaba kind of takes like the role of like the new like prince-like character under Vegeta, kind of similar to Tarbell in the Yosun Goku and his friends return special.
Yes.
And then I feel like the way that the Tournament of Power was going, I feel like Caulifla has like that Goku connection, and I feel like Kale has the Goku connection because she always associates herself with Caulifla. So I kind of feel like all three of them have like a Saiyan connection there.
And here's the thing. We're seeing a lot of new Saiyans now.
Yeah.
Saiyajin. We're seeing, you know, we've got these three characters, plus, you know, the ones that are still in Universe 6. We've got the ones coming into Dragon Ball Legends. We've got the characters for the Dragon Ball Super movie where going to be different characters. Do you think that they are overemphasizing and focusing too much on this race? Is it like they realize that this race makes money? Like, do you think there's too much of a focus on them?
Yeah, but I mean, but if we were to say that, I mean, that's just the whole Dragon Ball series as a whole. I mean, honestly, I feel like because Saiyans are like the key race that can create transformations and transformations create toys, and you know they're like the main race of the series, I always feel like there's always going to be an incentive to create more Saiyans, and it's kind of like the Saiyans versus everybody else. So honestly, you know, I do think it's a little cliche for Dragon Ball, but you know what, if they could tell a good story, I don't mind at all.
I always found it more interesting to focus more on like other races, like Frieza's race and Hit's race, and you know things like that. Because I'm just, you know, I've seen a lot of the Saiyans, but if they're gonna explore a new backstory or a more refreshing backstory, I'd be okay with it. I mean, we'll see where things go. So thank you for being here.
Anytime, bro.
Leave your comments in the comment section and talk about what you want to see from Khalif Lakaba and Kale, and do you want more Saiyans? Have you had enough? Or are you sick of them, or do you want more? Let us know. We'll talk to you soon.
Adios, amigos.